My question is, don't, well, the best ideas emerge overnight? And if so, what do we have to change in our ideation process and workshop design to, raise the potential and getting these best ideas that emerge overnight? Let's have a deeper look at what happens in the night if you are sleeping with our brain. There are certain phases in the night when you sleep where your unconscious mind does a lot of things and connecting different dots and information inspirations. And it's called, as you perhaps know, the rapid eye movement phase, where the eyes moving rapidly and doing all these associations and connecting the dots and the information in the brain. So as there is a huge activity, which is not conscious but unconsciousness. You cannot control it, but it's a very creative process which is going on there. Because what is creativity? Creativity is often just connecting two different things and bringing them together and making something new out of it. So there is a huge kind of association and creativity machine in the night in our brain. And when we then wake up in the morning and perhaps have a coffee, go in the shower, walk with the dog, sometimes suddenly an idea pops up. And it's crystal clear, this idea, and it's a brilliant idea, and you don't know where it came from. In the night before and in the days before, you had problems to find right ideas, and then suddenly, you call it eureka, as the Greeks say, there is this sudden moment of such an idea that pops up, and you think, yeah, that's a good idea. Why didn't I find it the day before? So it would be great if we could use more of these potentials that we have in our brain, and that we could use more of these eureka moments also in our ideation process in our workshops. Let's have a deeper look in this creative process, which, as you perhaps know, always should begin with a good research where we talk with customers or users, generate insights and document things, find things, go out and generate insights to define the real problem, perhaps in kind of problem statements or how might we questions, which are the starting point for a good ideation process, which we will follow on. And the ideation process itself even starts best with kind of inspiration. You go out and look at, again, some things, talk with people, let yourself be inspired. And then the phase of digesting begins, where this all comes in your conscious, but also in your unconscious mind, as we learned. And then on this, we can ideate. Perhaps even then select the right ideas that fit to this problem statement or the how might we question best. This looks like a linear process, but in reality, it is not that linear, because sometimes you inspire, you jump over the digestion, go into the ideation, find some ideas, perhaps even select one, and then think, whoa, that's not the best idea. Perhaps we should go back to inspiration, use really some time to digest, ideate again, go here round and round. Sometimes we even go back to the definition of the problem, because we find that there might be some adjustments, and from the definition we go back to the ideation. So this is not a linear process, but a process of short and long cycles. And if you do a good creative process and want to support a good process, you support even these loops, these big and small loops. So let's talk about the normal way to do it. What is the normal, aka synchronous approach, which we normally do? Normally, take a bunch of people together, bring it in a room, and call it workshop for 2 hours, 4 hours, sometimes even 1 or 2 days, and do this whole process like inspiration. Sometimes we even digest, but often we go directly into ideation because we have not enough time. All people talk together with different methodologies, one-on-ones, brainwriting, crazy eight, whatever, to generate as many as ideas possible. Sometimes we even go perhaps sometimes back to inspiration, but often we focus on this ideation part and then also select certain ideas that best fit to our problem statement, and which is really great if we have all these people in a room, be it a virtual or really a real room, because all people can focus on our process of our workshop. They are in this room together at a certain time, and if you do a good facilitation, they will stay in focus and focus on their task. And you, as a facilitator, also can create kind of momentum where you lead all the people through this process and they all feel together that they're in a team for this certain task. There's a lot of social interaction as well. People talk together with each other within different methods, and there you can, as a facilitator, also use kind of social dynamics because they are all in a room and have to be disciplined because there are other people that are watching them. So you, as a facilitator, can also use this kind of being together and even controlling each other a little bit. And in this process, if you're all together in one room, it allows for many short cycles, short loops of inspiration and ideation. But, well, that's the problem. Not that much time for digesting, and also not that much time to be alone. Sometimes in design sprint, you have this statement of being together alone, but sometimes you need more alone time, and even the introverts need more alone time to digest and think about it and not even talk every time. The problem this synchronous approach in a workshop is also that not enough or the right people might come, because you have a certain time and often a certain room, and not everyone can participate. Sometimes it's restricted in space or in time, so you just pre-select a certain kind of participant, and sometimes it would be great if there would be other people that could be involved in this process. If you ever participated in such a process, you know this kind of overlap which often happens if you participate. You sometimes say, "Wow, could we make a longer break that I just relax and have some more ideas because my brain is full overloaded?" And the next and perhaps last problem is that this process does not allow perhaps that much long cycles to go really back to inspiration if you already selected something, or from ideation to inspiration and back to ideation and have enough time for digesting. So it might be interesting if we find another way where we could introduce more asynchronous ideas and methods which might solve these problems, which are shown here, down here in red. And this is what we should look at right now. What if we would switch to an asynchronous approach? Well, let me take you through this kind of approach with a small example. Perhaps we would start with a, kind of normal kickoff meeting lasting perhaps only 15 minutes, where we talk about the problem statement, the how might we question, and yeah, kick off the creative process. But then we would separate from each other and yeah, perhaps search for inspirations, for informations on its own. And you don't have to be in the same room. You just go out there and have 2 or 3 days where you collect them, digest, everyone on its own, and perhaps you collect all this information on an interactive whiteboard. So we could also access to all these kind of information inspiration the other would find. And we could also start to ideate because you cannot separate these phases very strictly. Perhaps you find inspirations, digest, then you can come back, see some ideas from other people which you really take as inspiration. So this is a back and forth, all on an interactive whiteboard, but everyone does it on its own. The next phase could be that we pair uh, people one on one. So we give them the task that they find a small meeting where they talk one on one and even inspire them to each other. And these kind of one on one meetings could yeah, take place at Monday, Tuesday, or on Wednesday or Thursday. Everyone could do it on their own schedule. And after that, we might even then come together in the whole group where we could have a look at all these informations, ideas that already collected there, and make some short loops, short cycles of brainstorming and further ideation within a small synth session, which perhaps but only last 1 hour or at max 2 hours. Then we would even separate each other from each other and go on on our own ways and think about the ideas, perhaps even reiterate on some of these ideas and even pre-select some of the ideas that might best fit to the criteria defined in the problem statement, problem definition phase. So everyone then knows all the ideas, have already pre-selected some of them for its own, and then we could come at the end again together in a small sync session, which only lasts perhaps 1 hour, where we then look at all the pre-selected ideas and commit to the 1, 2, or 3 ideas that might fit best in to the problem statement. This kind of problem, this kind of process might give us more time for digesting, even more alone time. You're often alone, but sometimes also together with other people. You could involve the right people or completely different people within this process. It's easily that they find some time within 1, 2, or 3 weeks that they also can contribute on this in this process. And there is no information overload or brain overload. You have enough time to recover, and there is enough time for these long cycles of inspiration, digesting, and ideation, and the back and forth. The problem of this kind of more asynchronous approach might be that how to create a momentum as a facilitator, that they all keep on focusing and keep on feeling that they're part of this kind of ideation process. And the other problems might be how to create enough social interaction that they don't feel too alone, too separated from the others, and that you also could use this kind of social dynamic, which we talked about in the workshop, where we can also use it as a facilitator to make the people more disciplined and do their task and do the things. And the other thing might be interesting how to create these kind of very short cycles, which are interesting in these kind of workshops situations and asynchronous methods, where you can have these kind of very smart and short cycles. This is a problem which we already which we still have in an asynchronous approach, and which we as a facilitator should focus on how to overcome these problems. So, as a facilitator, you might ask, how might we create and keep the momentum over such a long process of 1, 2, or 3 weeks? And how help to keep the focus that the people really do it, and create perhaps even social interactions and dynamics, and create these kind of short ideation cycles? Let's have a deeper look at it in a small example. I'm in the UX community, and we post each other the question how to make digital product development more sustainable. And yeah, we wanted to focus on the first phase of this question, because we wanted first to research and gain more insights what the problems really are, and define such kind of problem statements. How might we questions? And this should all take place on this virtual whiteboard in Mural, where we will all work together. We were 6 experts distributed all over the world, so we had to work virtually, and I was the facilitator, and started that I asked all to learn to know each other, but not in a synchronous meeting, not in a kickoff meeting, but all asynchronously. We all did this here on a whiteboard, where we gave information about sustainability and our lifestyle. And then I, as a facilitator, paired them in groups of 2, and asked them to interview each other, always 2 people, and document the results on the whiteboard here. And all the people then could have a look at all these interview results. And then I asked them to pair again, but with a different person, and gain and generate insights on these interview results, and even document them again on the whiteboard. And then everyone could look on his or her own at these insights and think about it. And then I again asked the people to meet each other again, only 2 persons, and they had the freedom when to meet. They had some days time, 2 or 3 days, and they could schedule their meetings on their own always. And so they met each other always in one-on-one situation. And the only moment in this process where we came together as a group was at the end in a Zoom call. And me as a facilitator, I didn't see the people over the course of 3 weeks. Did not see them, but they saw each other in different situations. It was a kind of experiment, but it worked quite well. And you might ask, as a facilitator, how did you facilitate it? How did you create this momentum and create this focus? And we did a lot with video messaging, as you can see here in some screenshots. We had introduction videos, we had personalized video messages, also emails, small kind of pages where they get all the information, and also detailed instructions who to meet and who is going to schedule, so I could create some kind of accountability. So they were guided through the whole process of 3 weeks with, kind of emails and video messages. And the participants said that they really had the feeling that they were part of a team, of a group, although we only met together then at the end of the whole process of 3 weeks. And they could also focus on the process, because they were often asked from another person that they have to meet in this specific week. So there were also kind of social dynamic where people held each other accountable that the next task must be solved. So we had kind of social interaction, we had social dynamics, we could manage to create momentum, and we could also keep the people focus on the whole process. That was quite interesting, and it was for me a really good and nice experiment to find out how to manage such an asynchronous workshop. I think we already found some ways out how to create and keep the momentum over such a long period of time in an asynchronous workshop. And also, we found out some ways to keep the focus and also create social interactions and dynamics. But there is still much to explore, and especially the last questions: how might we create short ideation cycles where we get inspirations from others in a very short time? And short cycles is a very interesting. So there is a lot to find out if you want to find out how to raise the potential to get the best ideas that emerge overnight. I would like you to invite to an mini asynchronous workshop session where we tackle the questions how to create short ideation cycles in an async workshop. So you could experience yourself an asynchronous workshop and also think about methods of new asynchronous workshop designs. And it would go like this. I would like to invite up to 12 participants, and we would have a kickoff, meet on a mural board together, learn to know each other, then might collect inspirations over a course of 3 days, collect ideas and review and enhance these ideas, vote on ideas, and then might even select ideas to test further on in other asynchronous workshops. So the whole part is generally and at most asynchronous, but we will have some certain phases where we also meet together, like in the beginning and at the end, and perhaps even between that. If you are interested, then you might be open to experiment, and you must also be willing to record videos of yourself. The technical parts are not the problem. I will tell you everything, and you will just have to push a button. But yeah, you just have to take some videos of yourself, just small ones, because sometimes ideas are not that good to be written on post-it notes. You have to explain them sometimes, and their video is a great medium. And over the course of 2 weeks, you would have to invest 1.5 hours a week around this, where you are very flexible to do it. So it will be about 3 hours in total, and it would be great if you could also manage to then meet at the final meetup in synchronous mode. But perhaps that this is not even necessary, but it would be great. So if you're interested, just at this link, and I would send you more information. I would try to find some participants that we can make this asynchronous workshop over asynchronous workshop methods happen. Thank you.